we need to protect the bees. Every flower, fruit, and tree, the bees pollinate these. Led by a queen, not a king. You hear that, ladies? Let freedom reign. The oldest female-led society, dating back 120 million years, they have collected pollen, made nectar, and their fierce stingers have taught fears. It's their venom that brings the tears. Male bees have no stingers. They are called drones, and their sole purpose is to make the queen moan. Filling up the hive with ladies activates the ladies. The hive's future now secure, they make the hive 100% her. The drones get kicked out to the cold. They never get the chance to become old. I remember these facts because they were taught to me. In 5th grade biology, taught by Miss Freeman, she made learning so fun, we were all beaming. I said I thought venom was only in snakes, and she explained for all of our sakes. Venom requires toxin and the act. They wouldn't be venomous if they just sat. A bee's sting and a snake's bite is its powerful right. These female bees, so tiny and small, defends the hive's life by giving it her all. Being venomous kills the bee, and though I was a he, I knew being venomous would also kill me. Later that year, she taught sex ed. To teach celibacy, this is what she said. Ladies, you will never be told I love you by a man unless to get you in bed. This tiny amount of venom raced to make my heart dead. As Alex Rodriguez's hand shot up over her head, she said, "That's not true." Well, maybe for very few. Then she pointed her finger at me so the whole class could see. He tells me every day and then won't even kiss. He doesn't see me as a sis, and it's not like he would miss. The class laughed as I did too. It was true. I told her I loved her because her friend count was few. I knew this from recess, when I saw Alex being treated as less, being bullied by her friends. It was a mess. You see, her height was quite a sight, and my first day outside, she had nowhere to hide. I called out, "I love you for being my size." A tall boy myself, the group of girls turned, then dispersed. Their fun had been spurned. These teases and taunts are easy to overlook, but all their venomous voices left Alex shook. Stung by so many, my hope she took, and now alone in class, she defends me and makes everyone look. I know what it was like to be alone and afraid. Going through foster care, I had memories I wish would fade. Neglect to starvation, there are many reasons I was moved across the nation. I was 5 when you raped me. Dressed in a dress, the bedsheets a mess, he said it wasn't gay if I was dressed that way. He used criminal markers that were big and round. My screams, a deafening sound. His belt kept me bound. Their caps would land in front of me. He flipped them there so that I could see. He then asked what color, answer correctly, or he would use another. The green cap within sight, I yelled green. The pain was white. He laughed. "No, you little girl, you're not right." This time it was blue. And up my ass it flew. "Blue," I cried. "I wish you'd die." Again and again, with no way to defend, he took forever to end. Once gone, my sister joined me. I was a horrible sight to see. At age 4, she was pulling markers out my back door. They were all red. Blood soaking the bed. She was raped that same night. And suppressing that memory takes all of my might. When I was 3, my biological father tried to save my sister and me. Years before our rape, he went to court for both of our sake. He was requesting child support to be our dad because he knew our situation was quite bad. The court laughed at him and asked if he went mad. There are powerful systems in place to protect kids, and women too. But for men, there are far few. It's because of bears like these we have to hide up in our family trees, nurturing broken people in our society. Broken like the breaking door, bathroom door. I had locked myself in there at 24. The frame creaked and shook. I was so scared, I didn't want to look. Resisting my girlfriend's weight, I did not want this to be our fate. This only happens when she drank, and this night's argument was because I gave myself a wank. I know it was wrong. We could fuck all night long. You see, she was a broken too. It was something we both knew. So my cum was her self-worth, for the rejection she felt from birth. I was not allowed to close any door, just in case I was talking to some whore. The dispatcher heard each scream and boom. She assured me that they would be there soon. She was right. The police were quick that night. 2 officers showed, a lady and a guy. They asked us what was going on and told us not to lie. When suddenly, I was whisked outside. He said we were going for a ride and he was going to have my hide. The officer was tough and mean, as he told me not to make a scene, claiming I was not a sir, and asking why I hurt her. I said, oh no, you've got it all wrong. It was I who called the police all along. But he was not having it, as I was told to sit. Questioned for an hour, he flexed his power. You see, my girlfriend had scratches and bruises on her arm. And in their mind, I must have caused her harm. Inside, she was being coaxed, drunk and sweet. The officer gave her no heed. They needed her statement to give their investigation fee. To this day, I'll always respect her integrity. As she explained, she felt betrayed for not getting laid. Her arms bruised and scratched from every dog she had to catch. She was a groomer for unruly dogs, and I was not a hog. She had to repeat this several times, and if she hadn't, all would not have been fine. The process is to assume that he is hurting her. This protects women from domestic violence to occur. Later that week, a protective order was what I went out to seek. I requested the police report so that I could take it to court. The police asked me why, but gave it to me with a sigh. The sheet they gave me, it was empty. The message clear to see, there would be no protection for me. I was a drone. My fate was already sown. And so I left the hive for an answer that would keep me alive. I wanted to be loved like I loved, unconditionally. And then the answer hit me. I needed to become a she. I said goodbye to my forever family and told them that they would never find me. In a new state, I went through a different type of hate. Wearing dresses, makeup, and a wig brought me right back when I was a kid. But this path forward, I did not regret. Instead, I went to work for Victoria's Secret. Silicone tits and my beautiful face, I got hit on all over the place. I changed my name and dreamed of artistic fame. To get hormone blockers, I had to talk to some doctors. After a year of dressing completely in femme, I got them. Scared and alone, I sat on my bed and thought about my choices and where they led. This one little pill to change me into something worth protecting by society. I opened my mouth, I lifted my hand, I closed my eyes. When a weaker species tries to control its fate, baits and mimicry is its evolutionary trait. By looking like the dominant species, a predator might think twice about turning them into feces. Tons of insects pretend to look like a bee, so a predator will think it has been and flee. I had to flee. She was controlling me. Together for 1 year, I had spent the last 6 months in fear. She had BPD, split personality, and suicidal ideology. To keep me from seeing her heart was rotting, she employed a method called honeypotting. It's where she pretends to be everything I want, then slowly lets out her demons to harm. For us, it was 6 months in. Her car broke down, and the stress did win. Her emotional dysregulation was too much to handle, so I said I was blowing out my candle. I broke up with her at a local cafe, and she said she would kill herself that day. She had made that same threat to her first girlfriend too, and she made it true. In a mental hospital, she woke and cried, and when the doctors asked if she was better, she lied. So she laid out a plan to keep me as her man. If things got out of hand, I was to call her bestie, her #1 fan. I was to tell no one but her until her therapist found a cure. The next 6 months was a cycle of abuse. She cut her best friend loose and got worse with the substance abuse. Every day around my neck, a noose. I slowly stopped doing art because I didn't have the heart. She would break down and become unwound, and she always made sure I never made a sound. And then she threatened to use my gun, and having nowhere to run, I broke her order. I reached out to an old friend, and she had called a fool. My friend Sarah asked what was going on. As I explained, she pointed out I was her pawn. She urged me to leave by dawn. She said I had to get away, that I could not stay, and so the next time she made that threat, I did not fret. Instead, I told her I was moving out and the date was set. The next day at work, I got a text from her father, saying my stuff was thrown outside and not to bother. I collected my stuff and he moved out my plan. I was horribly mistreated, but free, so I ran. A month later, I got a message from a stranger. She said she was glad that I got out of danger. She was my ex's childhood friend and warned me that this would not be the end. Since the age of 8, she saw a pattern of hate. My ex would date and everything would be great as long as they kept choosing her as their mate. If not, she would become irate and retaliate. Then she told me my fate. She had claimed rape. This news shocked me as it was untrue. I did not know what to do. Meredith, for claiming this when I'm a survivor, I do not forgive you. What about the police? What about the state? It had already been a month. Why wait? They did their investigation and only uncovered her hate. It's illegal to submit a false police report, but to protect true victims, they don't take them to court. But jail was not her plan. She just wanted to control her previous man. And so my dreams, she wanted to ban. She knew I wanted to create art and start an adoptive family with all of my heart. And so taking that away was where she would start. She typed up her story and gave it to court and kept it secret so I couldn't retort. She was messy with her story because she knew I would not find out. Because the paper she had to serve me, she misread. She didn't know her old friend already knew and had reached out to me out of the blue. And so her story was filled with lie after lie, like how I was still stalking her close enough to connect to her Wi-Fi. She had assumed I had to stay when she made me homeless that day, not knowing I moved 11 states away. Altogether, there were 43 lies, including how I raped her so hard I gave her a black eye. I disproved her story with her very own text, both for myself and so there wouldn't be a next. Her previous partners also had to flee, from physical abuse and mental, similar to me. As for the black eye she claimed to have gotten that night, photos the next day she took proved there was none in sight. 126 pages of evidence was my fort. Her ex's friend's scathing testimony to support. I went to court. The female commissioner made her judgment in minutes flat. There was no need for evidence or any of that. She said, "You are a man," and she is claiming she got bruised by your hand. Since it's civil, there doesn't need to be proof. A protection order just protects her in her roof. My abuser lied and got away, and it didn't matter what I had to say. I was born male and therefore destined to fail. When a drone's purpose is fulfilled, their fate is sealed. They need to leave or be killed. But the female bee does not want to use their stinger, so they starve them so they do not linger. Suicide is the nation's 10th leading cause of death. It's done by men, 80%. If we matched the rate of women, it would make a massive dent. It would go down from 10 to 20. That should be reason aplenty. Most put the blame for this right back on men, proclaiming it's our stigma that condemns. Just like the drones, we are faced with starvation. Compared to women, we get little help across the nation. I love our world and the beauty it holds, and I never once questioned whether I would become old. It's not healthy to be well adjusted to sick society, and the pill to fix this fits in a Glock. For many, it's the price to pay for having a cop. I survived starvation, rape, neglect, without breaking a sweat. But what truly killed me was 32 years of being treated as a threat. I call this venomous femininity. It permeates every aspect of society, the counterpart to toxic masculinity. The beauty of this term is it doesn't condemn or degrade how every one of us is naturally made. Because remember, being venomous is an act, and that's not even the best fact. Anti-venom uses venom as its core, meaning your venom can destroy or save many more. If you paid attention to each of these stories, you'll see it was filled with true queens that deserve their glories. They were saving me from the start. Seeing venom invade my heart, they spoke up to do their part. Without them, this poem I wrote would be my suicide note.